Update. I'm 23F just found out my husband, 38M, has been hiding his child from me. I just found this out yesterday and have no idea what to do. I could barely type this out. I still feel like I'm in a state of shock. Our marriage has been kind of rocky for the last year or so. My husband brought up starting a family a year ago when I had graduated from university, but we had only been married for a year and I wasn't really ready to start a family quite yet. I asked him for at least a couple years and he seemed disappointed at first, but ended up agreeing without much fanfare, so I didn't think it was a big deal. Gradually, he started getting busier at work and taking more on-call shifts at night. He said a specialist had transitioned to outpatient work only, so he felt obligated to pick up the extra slack. I didn't think anything of it at first, but the on-call shifts never ended and he said he decided to transition to nights full-time. I was pretty crushed because we wouldn't get to spend much time together and I said as much, but he said his work was important and he saw greater need at nights. Then he started having breakfast with the other physicians after his shifts and he would come home later and later. I would never be the type to think my husband was cheating, but he was spending less and less time with me and I felt like my husband was a stranger. We were still having sex almost every day, so I let myself continue denying my suspicions. Yesterday though, something came over me. And while he was sleeping I decided to go through his phone. I went through his text messages and there were messages from a nurse that was a mixture of conversation about the hospital, their affair, and a baby they both referred to in their messages as their son. Messages regarding daycare fees, pediatrician appointments, mixed in with texts about their screw life. I feel ill. I have no idea what to do. I know I have to confront him, but I've been financially dependent on him since we've been married. I'm scared of life without him, but I know I can't be with him. He's out for breakfast this morning and I want to text him not to come home, but I don't feel like I have the strength to face him. Now for the update. For those of you that were curious, I reached out to an old prof of mine and sent some resumes out and am continuing to send them out. I've also told my friends and family that I'm going to get a divorce. Most were supportive as soon as I told them. My parents still think I should go to counseling to see if we can fix things, but they're supportive of me and said that they would be happy to have me back until I got on my feet again. For those of you saying that my parents were somehow profiting off of my marriage, that's not true at all. My parents have had some health problems and my husband helped them find specialists and explained all the medical jargon and really helped them through some tough times. Anyway, when it came to my husband, despite all of your warnings, I did contact a couple lawyers, but I didn't feel great about it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but going behind his back and contacting people who seemed way too eager to help me end the marriage somehow made me feel sneaky, but it didn't even matter because as soon as I told my husband I needed to talk to him about something, he told me everything. About how he didn't mean for things to end up this way, he's sorry he hurt me, he does love me, but he understands that I could never believe him because of what he's put me through. He was sincere and remorseful, but I realized that what I thought was love was just an infatuation, and the past week has shown me that. I told him I couldn't be with him any longer, that I had already started looking for jobs and was planning on moving back with my parents. He's agreed to let me keep my car and he said he had some money saved up for a trip for us that he never got around to using and said that I could have it. I refused, but he insisted. He also let me keep my credit card for emergencies until I got back on my feet, but I'm not sure how I feel about taking that. He offered to set me up in an apartment until I could afford to pay my own rent, but I declined that. I'll be moving out of here by next week and my husband has seen a lawyer about filing for divorce. He's also strongly suggested that I find one as well so he or she can help me navigate the legal process, so I've been looking into that. He said he would be willing to give me half of his salary for the 3 years that we were married and I agreed to that. So that's that. Thank you to anyone that cared.